Global warming is a major issue with many bad effects. One negative effect of global warming is sea level rise. Higher sea level increases the severity of storm surges and can harm coastal wetlands and estuaries. Estuaries are nurseries to many marine species, including plankton, invertebrates, and fish. These productive habitats also support breeding birds. An increase in sea level causes the salinity of the estuary to extend farther upriver. This disruption can lead to destructive saltwater organisms such as shipworms and barnacles living farther upstream and damaging the ecosystem. Elevated sea level could change the mixing and flushing patterns of estuaries, harming species that rely on estuaries for breeding. Making things worse, nearby wetlands could be wiped out by encroaching saltwater. Another issue aggravated by sea level rise is storm surge floods. Storm surge flooding happens when a big storm is hitting a coastal area. Because of the low pressure zone of the storm, the local sea level goes up, leading to flooding and destruction of structures. This island can flood during storm surges. This island is the city of Alameda in San Francisco Bay. These parts of Alameda would flood in what is called a 100-year storm. The probability of a 100-year flood is 1% per year. The blue area would flood right now if a storm surge happened. The other colors correspond to storm surges with additional sea level rise. There are many cities throughout the world at risk. For example, here is the whole San Francisco Bay. A recent example of this sort of flooding is what happened in New York and New Jersey when Hurricane Sandy hit. If Alameda is flooded, will the city's economy collapse, or will it be able to recover and prepare for future storm surges? Will important estuaries and wetlands be damaged? Is your area at risk for storm surge flooding? If so, raise awareness about storm surges and tell your friends who live in flood zones to prepare by installing protections such as house stilts. Don't buy and encourage your friends not to buy houses in danger from storm surges. To stop sea level rise, we need to stop its culprit, global warming. Things we can do are drive cars less, eat less meat, and try to use clean sources of electricity like wind or solar. Especially important is supporting legislation that encourages changes towards lower CO2 and greenhouse gas emissions. When a storm hits, wetlands are one of our main defenses, holding off and buffering incoming flooding. But we've destroyed most of our coastal wetlands. For example, here's San Francisco Bay in 1848. For comparison, San Francisco Bay in 1994. Because of the importance of estuaries in storm surge flooding and the number that we've destroyed, a very important way to help with this issue is to support wetland restoration and preservation. The problems of global warming, sea level rise, and storm surge inundation aren't solved yet for many reasons. There's a lot of money invested in houses in high-risk areas. Developers have a financial incentive to not tell property owners about the risks of rising sea level and inundation. One of the big issues is just a lack of education. People don't know about these issues. Another issue is that a 100-year event sounds a lot less probable than it actually is, so people don't react rationally to the news. People resist preparing because preparations that are needed can be very costly. Relocating or putting your house on stilts is expensive. Global warming is probably society's biggest threat, and the effects of sea level rise on marine environment are just a few of the effects of increasing CO2 in the atmosphere. We need to stop global warming from happening entirely. To do this, we need to stop producing so much greenhouse gas. We need to make international legislation that moves us towards cutting carbon. To stop global warming, everyone will have to work together.